And we're live.
That's right.
We're live. We're live again here on Let's Think Podcast.
Yes,
First, I
sir.
would like to rise, giving all thanks and perfect praises to Allah, highest honors to His holy prophet, honors to all, and I mean all, and everyone participating in the great comprehensive program of uplifting fallen humanity. I'd like
Correct.
to give honors to my leadership, Brother El Porticel. I'd like to
Praise the
give
Lord.
honors to my grand sheikhs, Sister M Porticel. I'd like to give honors to all leadership, past, present, and future leadership in the Moorish Temple of America. I'd like to give honors to all of the membership in the Moorish Temple of America. I'd like
Mm,
to give honors to our staff. I'd like to give honors to our brother, our guest, Brother Sheikh Sharif Anael-Bey. I'd like to give honors to all the Moors under the sound of his voice, and all of the Moors within his body. I'd like to
praise
give
the Lord.
honors to you. And welcome again, brother.
We're
We got
back,
another one.
man.
We got another one.
Yes, sir.
Um, of course, for the listening audience, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
The Cash App is pinned in the chat. We'll bring it up.
Yes, sir.
Donate to the channel, and we'll have brother Sharif Anial-Bey's Cash App up as well. Um, Also, all of your questions tonight. If you have questions, matter of fact, what I think I might do if we have time, and if
Yes.
it's all right with Brother Sharif, I'll put the link in the chat, and I can bring people up one at a time to ask questions or
Perfect.
dialogue with the brother. Um,
Perfect.
but super chatters though, don't
Yeah.
forget to support the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button when you come in. Please hit the like button and get us into the algorithm. Peace.
Yes.
Please hit the algorithm.
Yes,
Help us
sir.
hit the algorithm. All right.
That's right.
Um, I'm gonna allow the brother Sharif to open up because
Yes,
I know
sir.
he has to give his honors and his praise as us as Moorish
Absolutely.
American Muslims do. So
That's
without
fact.
further ado,
That is our custom as members of this movement and students of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I first want to rise giving praise to Allah, Almighty, eternal, incomprehensible, yet closer to you than your jugular vein.
yes, sir.
We want to give honors to the last prophet in these days and times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Savior of humanity, who is Allah's prophet,
Yes, sir.
without a doubt or contradiction.
That's
Extend
right.
honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, founded in 1913 AD. We extend honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America and the Moorish movement today, regardless to what other people may say about all the fractionalization and the division or whatever. Prophet Drew Ali said, Allah alone guides the destiny of this divine movement. So the way it is today is exactly the way Allah intends it to be. Either that or he fell asleep on the job, which means he ain't Allah. How about that?
Say that again.
So the way we see it now is exactly the way Allah intends it. Believe it or not. See, all past and present leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America is due honor. Why? Because our people are crazy. You sign on for this work, you are literally tasked with the hardest job in the world, and that's raising the dead.
Yes, sir. Yes,
See,
sir.
we extend honors to all members, all seekers of truth. We extend honors to man, because when man honors man, he honors his father, God, Allah. Why? Because man and Allah are one. When we say know thyself, you're talking about get to know your God.
Yes, sir.
See, when we say man and Allah are one, that ain't the end of the book. That's the very first page. So the question now is, who are you? That begins your true search of knowledge of self.
Yes.
I want to extend honors to Let's Think Podcast, extend honors to the originator and the host of Let's Think Podcast, Sheikh 7 Islam. I want to extend honors to those brothers that are under the sound of his voice and who he answers to as well. Yes, we are all one family. There's only one Moorish Science Temple of America.
Yes, sir.
And now, before I even, we were saying offline, I'm going to say it to the audience. There's only one Moorish Science Temple of America. How can I say that? This is how I could say that. Prophet Drali taught us that man is a thought of Allah. He says that all things are thoughts of Allah. Angels are thoughts of Allah, right? Said, I get you to think you can save yourself. So what's the Moorish Science Temple of America? A thought. And when we all begin to see it that way, unity is a foregone conclusion. See? It's a thought.
Powerful statement, brother.
Yes, sir. It's a thought, brother. You know?
Yes, sir.
Praise
Before we go on, I'd like to take 7 seconds. If y'all can give me 7 seconds for my brother, Darren Anderson Bey, who just transitioned. My close brother of mine. We shared, the words couldn't even describe it. But, you know, may he sail on smoother seas, and I pray that Allah continues to guide and protect him as he handles life some elsewhere.
Praise
so I'd like to give him 7 seconds, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Praise
Islam.
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 So, let's we have this presentation today. As I always do. I'm one of the brothers who always tell the brother, man, do a PowerPoint presentation. Presentation. You know, because you know if anyone remembers when he debated Brother Reggie, that PowerPoint presentation was like Ginsu razor sharp. Like
he said Ginsu.
Listen, so I immediately started to understand the value of PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
And what it does to the faculty of sight. You know, and being able to not only see it, but comprehend it. Because one thing a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, letters are signs and symbols.
Come on, brother.
Just as numbers are, they're signs and symbols to allude to things that are beyond the sight of the human eye. So when we begin to be able, that we become pictorial, it gives us a way to get behind a particular thing and
come
see
on, brother.
It's not what it seems to be.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
I just want to say,
brother, I'm gonna have to have you as a guest, so you can demonstrate that.
Oh man,
what you just said was so powerful. This is why art is so important.
Yes,
music is so important. Things like even dance and gesture is so important in terms of communication, because it has the ability to communicate things that verbal communication can't.
Body language.
Yes, sir.
You know, I learned going through certain lessons in combat. You know, that body language will tell you everything.
Come on, brother.
And you know, even in a fight, I can tell by your body language if you even want it.
Brother, listen, in Chinese martial arts, the term we call that samfat, which means body method. So there's a body method. If I do this, you know what I'm doing.
Yes.
If I do this, you know what I'm doing. You see?
Yes.
That's speaking a language.
Right.
Now watch. If my hands are up like this, you already know I'm skittish.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm really saying, don't hit me.
Yeah, because you're tight. You're tight.
But if I come at you like this, you're like, oh, he wants it.
And yeah, he's inviting.
Yes.
He's
see?
inviting.
So you hit it right. You're correct, bro. Even fighting is a language.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that, you know, in both Taekwondo experiences as well as in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you know, that's why the feint is so crucial. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro.
you know,
right.
You know, and this is one thing. And then before we go off into a fighting thing, one thing that I learned is the human being in this is that the human being is a creature of habit.
Yes.
So if I feint you and you move a certain way twice, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna do the same thing.
You're gonna do it a third time,
and I'm gonna knock your head off. You know what I'm saying?
You already know, brother.
So you know, and that's the difference between a strategic fighter and one who just comes in to do whatever damage he think he possibly can do.
Come
You see what I'm
on.
saying? So,
On.
and this translates, in every area of life. It translates. So,
Yes, it does.
And that's the beauty of combat, because that's actually life.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually life when you can see it that way. You know
Brother,
what I mean?
what you just said is right in tune with the prophet's teachings. He says, without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. You see what I'm saying? So it brings a whole new perspective to life itself. We're not taught, we're taught to seek the path of least resistance, which is actually hell. Hell is based in ease. It promises ease. Get it? So we're looking for ease, right? And so when hardship comes, we run from it and we try to avoid it. That is backwards, because success and improvement is always on the other side of struggle.
Yes, sir.
There's one brother in this one particular secret order. He said it to me like this years ago. He said, "Demons over here, we eat our demons."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
We eat our demons.
Yes, sir. And that's the only way, especially going back to combat sports, the only way to become I would say a good fighter is not to be scared to get hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's the first, bro. But see, look at the lesson in that. The prerequisites
to a fight,
and to developing that ability of a lack of fear of getting hit
is be willing to get punched in the face.
Is to be okay with the fact that you're putting yourself in danger and about to get punched in the mouth, and you be okay with it.
Right.
See, how many people are okay with that?
Not many.
Okay. See? Yeah. How many people are okay?
And I'm cool with it.
Thank you. It's like what was that movie Point Break with Keanu Reeves, right?
Uh-huh.
And Patrick Swayze, when they were first taking him up to skydive, the guy says to him, he goes, "Hey, you're about to jump out of a perfectly operating plane. How you feel about that?"
Because you know what that does? It challenges your psychology.
Yes, it does.
Immediately on the spot.
Right on the spot, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what it does? And here, oh man, this is the thought that just came to me just now. The contemplation of such a thing keeps you 100% honest. That's what it does. Ain't no hiding. It keeps you, it ain't no fronting. It keeps you one, because come on, how many times you've been in the gym, you've seen it, the guy blustery and talking crazy until he gets dinged one good time.
Yeah, and he bandy legs.
First thing you see him do is look around.
Yeah.
Who saw me get punched in the mouth? You care more about what everybody thinks instead of
he starts searching for the ground.
That too. My father called them those types canvas inspectors. Rest in peace to my father. He called that's what he called them.
They sail on smoother seas.
Canvas. You call them canvas inspectors.
Yes,
boom. They're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason to lay down so it'll be over.
Get him a pillow and a blanket. Yeah. Get him a pillow and a blanket.
That's right. That's right. But it does, bro. That's a serious lesson. It keeps you honest. That's also another reason, too, why we say martial arts properly taught is a spiritual experience. Because you have to literally, you have to learn to face potential damage or harm with a smile.
Yeah.
We say, to describe this mentality, the old masters used to say it this way: fighting should be like taking a walk. You want to have tea? Sure. You want to fight? Sure.
Hey, yo, I was, I don't mind a nice engagement, but I don't know if I got that far yet.
Right. Well, it's kind of like it was an interview with 50 Cent. He was talking about people, how he deals. He goes, I don't really like conflict or whatever. He said, I tell people, I don't want no problem. But if you want a problem, no problem.
And that's how I am. That's
Yes,
how I honestly, bro. Like, and then guess what? Sometimes, you know, even if you want a problem, sometimes I ain't got a problem for you if I don't feel like the ends is for a good means. You know what I
but
mean?
brother, that's the path of the warrior. Mahatma Gandhi said it like this. He said the warrior doesn't die the same death as the superior man, or the warrior doesn't die the same death as the average man. Both die, but the warrior gets to choose when and how. How did Jesus say it? One of the most gangsterous things I ever read. He said, "No man taketh my life, I lay it down." Woo. That's like this old MOP song. It's called "Not by You." He said, "I can get shot, just not by you." Yeah.
Hey man, let's go. We fired up. We fired up. Okay, our conversation today. I think the best thing that I could do possibly at this point is let Brother Sharif tell you.
We talked about there's another organization made this statement known, or well known. The Nation of Islam. Shout out the Nation of Islam. Shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Shout out to his teacher.
Big shout out.
Right. Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his teacher, Master Farad Muhammad. Shout out to the organization. Right. But they have a lesson called the Problem Book, a series of allegorical statements made into mathematical problems that are to be solved. Right. And the idea is to get his members thinking in a mathematical way. Right now, and to see the condition of our people and the problem and the solution in a mathematical way. The most simple of those problems is problem number 13. Problem number 13 says, after learning mathematics, which is Islam, and Islam is mathematics, it stands true. You can prove it at no limit of time. Now you must learn to use it and secure wealth for yourself while you are living. Money, good homes, friendships, and all walks of life. Seat yourself in heaven at once. This is the greatest desire of your brother and teachers. That's what it says, right? It says some other things too. But then it goes into 26 letters of the alphabet, 9 numbers add 0, 10 symbols in literally. That's what it says. So here we go. Is Islam mathematics? You see what I'm saying? Now, we know that Islam, like we say in a more science of America, what is our religion? We don't say Islam. We say Islamism is our religion, right? Even Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself said Islam is not a religion, right? And he's coming from, I believe it's Surah 30, Ayat 30, where it says, this day, we have perfected your religion. And that's A. And have given you Islam. That's B. Then it says the nature in which you were created. That's C. So if A equals B and B equals C, then A also equals C. So if your religion is Islam and Islam is human nature, perfected human nature, that means your religion is perfected human nature. So we don't get converted to Islam. We are returning to it because we're returning to our own.
The fitra. In Arabic, that would be called fitra.
Fitra, that's right. So now, in terms of mathematics, Islam means peace. We've talked about this before. The root words, sin, lam, and mim, is where the word Islam is derived from. Also the word salam, also the word Muslim or Muslim, right? That root word, sin, lam, and mim, imply wholeness, completeness, oneness. You see? So when we say Islam means peace, yes, but it's a mathematical peace, meaning the resolution of opposites.
The resolution of opposites.
The resolution of opposites.
Come on, help the viewers. You take the resolution of opposites a little bit. Matter of fact, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me do this.
Yes, sir.
Let me do this. So we just gonna get it in like this because the brother did prepare something.
Yes.
So we're gonna put this together right quick.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get it. I think we got
all right. Run to the next slide. Go to the next slide. So this presentation, yes, we're going to deal with mathematics being Islam and Islam being mathematics. We're going to deal with it from a Moorish American perspective. But that's going to be the finale. We're going to finish with that. I'm going to paint a much broader picture, right? A much broader picture. And the idea is the Moorish American expression of Islamism as a representative of both the faith of Muhammad and old-time religion.
Oh, man, let's go.
So we're going to go. Let's give me the next slide, brother, man.
Let's get it.
All right. So chapter 45, instruction 1, the Moorish the Holy Quran, Moorish Science of America. Fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation in North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. What is meant by that? Understand, Jesus, we say in Islam, was a prophet of Allah. We also say he was a prophet of Allah. No prophet, Jesus included, was tasked with teaching an entire nation of people who they were. There's a term for this in psychology. It's called, not just psychology, but sociology. It's called patricide. Patricide means this. It's different from genocide. Genocide, you just kill people, right? You eradicate them physically. Patricide is you erase their memory. You turn a whole nation of people into zombies. That's us.
Mm.
The collective memory of the nation is erased. That's called patricide. Okay? So every nation has a narrative on how they think. Here's an example. A quote from the Quran of Mecca. How can you doubt Allah when he gave you life, caused you to die, brought you back to life, and to him you return? You ask the average Westerner their interpretation of that, they're going to say, oh, death, burial, and resurrection, like Jesus. Because it's what we're familiar with. It's how we've been trained to think. Go to India.
They would not think in reincarnation.
Two different narratives looking at the same words. See that? Two different ways of thinking. See? And the narrative of how you think, I don't care what nation, what culture it is always grown out of that nation or that group's view of God. In other words, their religious creed. Culture is the child of religious creed, like it or not. This is important.
Yes, sir.
We can prove that one too. That's real easy. And I've mentioned this before on your show. We all have family members and friends that have never stepped foot in the church and never will. But if you tell them there's no heaven or hell after you die, they'll want to fight you. See?
Facts.
See? So that is their narrative, their worldview. And how is it shaped? Euro-Judeo-Christendom. See that? See? Okay, so let's continue, right? Why? What does this mean? This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca. It means that the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America restores our psychology. It restores the mind frame and the worldview of our forefathers. So now we read about heaven or hell in the Bible, the Quran of Mecca. We already have a narrative. We already have our narrative. Oh, heaven and hell are not places of meets and bounds or a country to be reached. It's a what? state of mind. We're no longer spooked out. See that? Because we have a lens by which we can process information. That's what's meant by that. And then the prophet's historical message to America, inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran. And now he's talking about what? The Arabic Quran. We have it as the revealed word of God, Allah. We shall foster the principles. Notice what it said? Principles, people. Why is that important? The principles are the spirit of the law as opposed to the letter of the law. Right? We shall foster the principles of his teachings among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. The Mohammedan religion is the least appreciated and probably the most misunderstood of the world's great religions. This is especially true in our Western world. He said in the Moorish Guide, we believe in and foster the Muslim religion. We believe in the principles of its teachings insofar as they can be adapted to American life. Why is this important? We've all heard the term Sharia law, right? There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of, I'll just say it this way, there's a lot of negative talk in the West, especially in America, coming from the extreme right about Sharia law being implemented in America, blah, 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 blah. Do you know that
you can call it propaganda?
There you go. Do you know one of the main tenets of Sharia law is in Islam? Is that whatever country you're in, you obey the laws of that country. Boom. See? So when the prophet said we believe in the principles of his teachings insofar as they can be adapted to American life, he's following Sharia law. That means our Islam is Americanized, not Saudi Arabianism. See? We foster the principles, not necessarily all the practices. We don't confuse the principle with the practice. See that? All right, next slide. Here we go. Faith versus practice. There's a scripture in the Quran of Mecca that says it's mistranslated. To you be your religion and to me be mine. It's to you be your deen, your practice. As long as the principle stays the same, we're good. How do I know that? Chapter 11, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Temple of America. Right? It says, the thoughts of Allah change not. That's the essence. The manifests unfold into perfection of their kind. In other words, the container of the thought. That adapts. That evolves. That's why we could say in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Temple of America, in the questionnaire, right? What year was the Moorish Temple of America founded? Answer, 1913 AD. That's question number 9. Right? But wait a minute. The name Moorish Temple of America wasn't coined until 1928. How can you say it was founded in 1913? Because we're looking at the thought, which doesn't change. But the manifest changes from Dixon's Barbershop in 1913 to second story room in 12th and Rutgers Street, downtown Newark, New Jersey, to, I can't remember what street it was. The Temple number 1 initially was founded or set aside in Chicago in 1925. Right? Come on. Incorporated as Moorish Temple of Science in 1926. Name changed May 2nd to Moorish Temple of America. A trading name in between that, Moorish Holy Temple of Science on the side. Come on. You see? Those are developments of the container of the one thought. We're looking at the thought. We're looking at the source, the cause, not the effect. See?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what so faith does not change and is universal. That's the principle. Its expression or practice of it is linked to the peculiar cultural nuances of the nation or people expressing it. Islam in China is the 3rd largest religion in China, but it doesn't look Arabian. See that?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't look Arabian. You see, Indonesia is the largest Islamic population on the planet, or the largest Islamic community on the planet. Their Islamic practice don't look Arabian. It doesn't look Saudi Arabian. It just doesn't. See? Surely we have created you, O man, from a single male and female in the nations and tribes that you may know one another, not despise the other. That's Surah 49, Ayat 13. And then the prophet teaches us in the Holy Quran of Moorish American of America, chapter 44, custom cannot alter the nature of truth. Neither can the opinion of man destroy justice. Custom is practice. The nature of truth is but one. It doesn't change. Next slide. People say, oh, well, you know, Prophet Drew Ali, man, you know, that's haram. He developed wrote a divine constitution and bylaws. What part of Islam is that? Oh, y'all must not have known that. I think it was the year 622. Yeah, 622. Prophet Muhammad wrote the Constitution of Medina.
Mm.
The Constitution of Medina, written on behalf of the Islamic prophet Muhammad in 622, outlines the rights and duties of the people living in the city of Medina, which is present-day Saudi Arabia. The document also regulates relations between Muslims and other communities on the basis of religion. The Constitution protects all inhabitants of Medina regardless of religion, and explicitly states that Jews and Muslims can practice their religions freely. Many historians consider the Constitution of Medina to be the first document in history to establish religious freedom as a right. What y'all mean? What y'all mean? The Prophet Muhammad didn't do that. Of course he did. Of course he did. Yeah, the Constitution of Medina. He established a constitution too. How about that? And because it was based on religious practice and the faith of Islam, we could call it a divine constitution. Next slide. All right. 5 pillars of Islam found in Prophet Noble Drew Ali's Islamism. Hold on. First of all, I got to say this, and hopefully, you know, it may offend some people, but the 5 pillars are, guess what? Custom. They're not solidly Quranic. They're custom too. Those 5 pillars. That's a fact. The 5 pillars of Islam is demonstrated in the Holy Quran of Moorish American of America, right? The question is often asked, did Prophet Drew Ali bring real Islam? The question is often asked with the supposition that Islam is only a set of customs rather than a set of customs clothed in principles of action. Custom cannot alter the nature of truth. The assumption is that Prophet Muhammad was the first and last to bring Islam. The Quran refers to the faith of Abraham as Milad to Ibrahim, the faith of Abraham. It also says that he coined the term Muslim or Muslim. Allah named Abraham's followers Muslims. Keep in mind, people, that in that time period, what was one of the practices? Sacrifice of animals. So the practice cannot be the sole determinant of whether you're a Muslim or not. See? Prophet Abraham lived 1,500 years before Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Drew Ali teaches us these same principles, but he called it Islamism. All the prophets under the guidance of Allah finally custom tailored their path to the national peculiarities of the people through whom they were born. Prophet Noble Drew Ali is no different in that regard. Next slide.
Demonstrate, Muslim.
Yes, sir. Islamism defined. Islamism, right? Or also too, Islamism is referred to as political Islam. It is a set of ideologies holding that Islam should guide social and political as well as personal life. Leading Islamist thinkers emphasize the implementation of Islamic law, of pan-Islamic political unity, and of the selective removal of non-Muslim, particularly Western military, economic, political, social, or cultural influences in the Muslim world that they believe to be incompatible with Islam. In other words, the West tries to associate the word Islamism with what they call fundamentalism. Right. Radicalism. Okay. Why? Here's why, people. Because Islamism, as I just mentioned, demands that the principles of Islam should be reflected not just in personal life, but in social and political life as well. It should be our culture, not just something we do on Juma. Okay? But now you can understand why the West doesn't like that in general. You see? Because the West secularizes even religion. Religion becomes a hobby. It becomes not something you live, because it's something you do once or twice a week. See?
So it's not actually embedded into the fabric of one's life.
Right. So, like, for instance, what's the number one reason? The number one reason why people in the West call our brothers in the East who practice Islam fanatics. Why?
Can I
You know, real simple. Even though it's not verbalized often, they're not scared to die for it. That's why. Right.
And they equate that with the T word.
The correct, brother. To them, that's fanatical. To them, that's fanatical. You get it? But, which is another show we need to do, we have something in sociology called civil religion. You guys want a deeper perspective on what the prophet actually gave us? That's what you want to take a look at. You want to research what civil religion is. Matter of fact, let's make that the next show, bro.
All right.
Civil religion.
We can definitely do that.
Yes, sir. But anyway, let's continue. Because I don't want to get too, because we can go somewhere with that one. But let's continue. Some observers suggest Islamism's tenets are less strict and can be defined as a form of identity politics or, quote, support for Muslim identity and authenticity, broader regionalism, revivalism, and revitalization of community. That better fits what the prophet brought us. In very recent times, political Islam has been described as increasingly interdependent with political democracy. Yes. Islamism from the Moorish American perspective embodies the ideal that the core three tenets of the faith of Abraham, which is belief, faith, and fruition, be integrated into everyday life as the cornerstone for community development. See that? Islamism, or political Islam, stands opposite of apolitical Islam and questions the Islamic validity of an Islamic practice that does not and should not be reflected in the community's political fabric. Shout out to the Grand Governor of the state of Maryland, Brother L. Stewart Bay, who said this. He asked me this question not too long ago. He said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we say he's noble. What made him noble? The answer is real simple. What made him noble is that he wanted for his brother what he wanted for himself. And how can I prove that? In the questionnaire. Read questions 12 and 13. What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality? Come on, brother.
Moorish American.
That's what made him noble. So the point of this last thing I just read is this, right? If Islamism is bettering my life, why would I keep it apart from the rest of my community?
Yes, sir.
Does that mean we force it down people's throat and crusade with it? No. That means we proclaim it. What do? Live the life. and people reap the benefit through us.
The fruit.
There you go.
Fruition.
They reap the benefit through us, through our life, right? That's it. All right, next slide. All right, Islam, or that root word, sim, lam, and meme, the Aramaic root word for Islam and Muslim. Sim, lam, meme is the three-letter source word from which the words Islam, Muslim, Salam, etc. are derived. It literally translates into safe, wholeness, or oneness. While most commonly used to denote peace, it also connotes completeness, wholeness, and without defect. It is commonly misunderstood that a Muslim is one who submits to the will of God. That's how the word Muslim or Muslim has come to be understood as.
That's right? Not what a Muslim is. That's what a Muslim does.
You hit it right on the nose, brother. While there is merit to the definition, it's not directly accurate. There's merit to it. Why? Because the path to oneness is submission. Submission is a part of the process of being a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the root word for Islam, Muslim, Salam, whatever, right? Understood properly, it does not denote submission to anyone's will. Professor Helmer Ringren demonstrated in his study Islam, Aslama, and Muslim in 1949. He says this: if we now sum up our results and try to find what is common for the various words that are formed out of the root word sim, lam, and meme, it appears that the common idea is wholeness, entirety, or totality. The words in question express that something is whole, unbroken, undivided, and therefore healthy, peaceful, and harmonious. The stress lies on totality, not on submission. Allah indeed is Islam. See that?
Yes,
indeed,
sir.
Classical Arabic commentators of the Quran and lexicographers point out that the term Islam derives from the fourth form of the verb aslama, and this verb without an accompanying preposition means to enter into al-slam, and al-slam means the peace.
The peace.
Yes. This point is made to illustrate the commonly accepted manipulation of language through which the so-called orthodoxy defines reality for our culturally deprived masses. In other words, for those of us who don't know who we are. However, the same ones who have convinced the masses that, for instance, Salah alayhi means may Allah bless him, also convince the same people that Islam means primarily or even exclusively submission to the will of Allah. To further drive home the point on the true meaning of Islam, Amir Ali in his book Spirit of Islam notes, the word salm or salama in the first and fourth conjugations means, in the first instance, to be tranquil, at rest, or at peace, to have done one's duty, to have paid up, to be, in other words, redeemed, to be at perfect peace, and finally to surrender oneself to him with whom peace is made. The noun derived from it means peace, greeting, safety, salvation. The word does not imply, as is commonly supposed, the absolute submission to God's will, but means, on the contrary, striving after righteousness. Shout out to my brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, who a great deal of what I just read was some of his older research. Next slide.
There you go.
All right. Fallen sons of North Asia, a nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of Asia, the uniting of the Holy Quran and Mecca for the teaching and instructing of all Moorish Americans, etc. Right? The first principle, Shahada, testifying to God's oneness. The declaration, none is worthy of worship but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah and Muhammad Rasulullah. Right? There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. That's chapter 35, instruction 1. That's Shahada. See? Hold on your nationality card, I hereby declare that you are a Muslim. Right? under the divine laws of the Holy Quran in Mecca, right? That's Shahada. The Moorish Science Temple of America, deriving its power and authority from the great Quran of Muhammad to propagate faith and extend the learning and truth of the great prophet of Ali in America. We already know where that comes from. The affidavit filed in Cook County. That's Shahada. Ali is the 37th name or attribute of Allah.
The Most High.
Al-Ali, the Most High, is the one above whose rank there is no rank, and all ranks are inferior to him. The great prophet of Ali. Get it now? That's not a typo. The inclusion of the word of in front of Ali is not a typo. See? Okay, next slide. I know we're moving kind of fast, people, but
it's all gonna draw in.
Listen, for a small donation, the amount is up to our host. He can send you this PowerPoint for a small donation to Let's Think podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's continue. The next one, salat or prayer, speaking to Allah. Oh, hold on. I want to go back to the whole shahada.
Let's go back.
Right? No, you can stay right here on this slide.
Okay.
But let's go back to the shahada. Another misinterpretation. Ashhadu Allah or La ilaha illallah, right? Is misinterpreted to say there is no God but Allah. That's a misinterpretation. Okay? It's not there is no God but Allah.
There is no God.
There is only Allah. That's the interpretation. Because we're taught Prophet Ali, he despookified the whole thing. He said man's ideal is his God. Woo! See that? There is no God. There's only Allah, right? Chapter 7 gives us that, right?
Yes, sir.
Where he says that when he asks, what is wisdom? Right? That naught is naught, that power is but illusion, that heaven, earth, and hell are not above, around, below, but within, which in the light of aught becomes naught, and Allah is all. See that?
Yes, sir.
There is no God. There's only Allah. See, that catapults the mind out of the flesh. See that? That's okay. So
catapulted right out of the flesh, because now your five senses like shatter right before
they shatter right before your eyes. Ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
There's a secret. There's a secret organization. Our brother, shout out to our brother Khalil Allah.
Yes, sir.
He's a member of, called the AA, the Silver Star, Order of the Silver Star. Guess what their secret password is? I'm not revealing this. People, you can find this out on your own, but so it's not like I'm revealing some big secret.
But then the secret is within the secret, so you ain't revealing.
You know what their password is, Mo?
Yes.
There is no God.
That you know, and on the surface level, that would seem so blasphemous.
Come on.
You know,
right?
Anyone who, especially one who is adhere to monotheism, for one to say,
or brother,
believe to be monotheism.
Believe to be monotheism.
Because the whole thing about monotheism and the oneness of God implies multiplicity.
But brother, see, you had to go there. Here we go. And a long time ago, as a matter of fact, this was when me and Brother Wesley Muhammad shared stage in Black National Theater in Harlem in 2013. I spoke to this very issue. Why the Muslims in the East vehemently disagree with the Euro Christians about God. Because the Euro Christians, right, say that God is 3 in 1, right? They say it is God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, right? Okay. The Muslims in the East say, oh, you're making God into three instead of one. That's polytheism. Guess what? Both of them are wrong. Both of them are wrong. They're both thinking wrong. Their thoughts are wrong. Let me explain. And I want the viewers to pay close attention to this. There's what's called the identity principle of addition. This is, again, mathematics. And then there's the identity principle of multiplication. Okay. Follow me. The Western world thinks linearly and not cyclically.
Right.
Which of these identity principles goes with linear thinking? The identity principle of addition. So you can't make 1 into 3 with that principle. See that? 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3 all day.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's what both sides are thinking. See? Okay. Now apply the identity principle of multiplication. 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. See?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's why we could say the triune Allah and not fall into polytheism.
It's the way you think about it.
It's the way you think.
See?
See, by applying the mathematical principle, the identity principle of multiplication, we solve problems for both of them.
That's heavy.
Yeah. We solved a problem for both. Okay, next let's think Salat. Right? In chapter 36, instruction 2, fearfully and wonderfully art thou made. Praise therefore thy creator with all and rejoice before him with reverence. Perception of thyself, the knowledge of him who created thee, and the sense of worship thou owest him. Are not these plain before thy face? And behold, what is there more that men needeth to know? That's chapter 38, instruction 28.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful he is in all his ways. His counsels are inscrutable. The manner of his knowledge transcendeth thy conception. Chapter 35, instruction 14. If we lift up our eyes to the heavens, his glory shineth forth. If we cast him down to the earth, it is full of his goodness. The hills and valleys rejoice and sing. Fields, rivers, woods resound his praise. That's chapter 35, instruction 18. But thee he hath imbued thee with reason to maintain thy dominion. He hath fitted thee with language to improve thy society, and exalted thy mind with the powers of meditation to what? Contemplate and adore his immutable perfections. That's chapter 35, instruction 20. Oh, praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving, and meditate in silence on the wonders of his love, that thy heart overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement. Let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let thy life show thy love to his law. Let the actions of thy life show thy love to his law. Chapter 35, instruction 22. All of these refer to what? Prayer. Approaching our creator. I like how Elijah Muhammad said it once in the Theology of Time lectures. He said, what? If we're approaching our creator, getting near to our creator, remembering our creator, which again, I said is closer to us than our jugular vein, what are we doing? Getting to know ourselves. What else are we doing? Elijah Muhammad said it this way. Salat, or prayer, is the practice of perfection. Next slide.
And also the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, he who knows himself knows his Lord.
No, come on, brother. Woo, come on. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, the so-called orthodoxy would call that shirk.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, the next principle, giving of charity, zakat. Right. Happy, chapter 32 is entitled Charity. Happy is the man who has sown in his breast the seeds of benevolence. The produce thereof shall be charity and love. I mean, there's a whole bunch of these we could read, but I want to kind of speed through this slide, right? Charity begins where first?
At home.
In the home. This is why, one of the reasons why, this is not a divine and national, well, it's divine and national movement, yes, but there is not a divine side and a national side. I disagree with that. I disagree. The Prophet, yes, first incorporated the organization as a civic organization in 1926. But he said, since the work of the organization is largely religious, in other words, the work didn't change. Okay, so what in the world does civics have to do with religion? Here's the answer. Our heaven is not a place of metes and bounds. Our heaven is not a country to be reached. Our heaven we don't go to when we leave our flesh. Our heaven is a state of mind, it's a condition right here, right now. And what is civics? Civics is the aspect or the part of political science that treats of the rights, duties, and responsibilities of citizens. So
read the chapter, social duties.
There you go. Thank you, brother. Social duties. So civics governs the means by which the rulers, and in the American system of government, the people rule. How? By way of their elected representatives. That's called a Republican form of government. Yes, it still exists. See? A lot of people say, oh, the republic was overthrown by the democracy. Okay, hold on. Listening to the wrong people. Ask yourself, can you define what a republic is? Or what a Republican form of government is? I just gave you the definition, but you look it up for yourself. Don't trust me. Republican form of government is a government by which the people rule by way of their elected representatives. It's representative government. That's what a republic is. We still have it. Had to say that. That being said, the purpose of the average citizen engaging his government, first of all, is doing his duty. If your duty is to rule, then you need to rule, which means you need to participate. Second, what do? We modulate and modify government, or we use government to modify the shape and the complexion of our society for the betterment of our people.
To give and receive reciprocal helps.
And mutual obligations. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the purpose of civics, to shape society to the benefit of the people.
Yes, sir.
What's that called? Charity. It begins where? In the home. See? We build our heaven right here, right now. That's why the prophet said this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens. He related earthly salvation with American citizenship. Ain't no getting around it. Next slide. Some people are going to be mad at me about this one.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, fasting. A willing abstinence or reduction from some or all food, drink, sex, or low vibratory thought for a period of time. What did Jesus say in chapter 15, instruction 15 through 17? Away from me all tempting thoughts, my heart is fixed. I spurn this carnal self with all its vain ambition and its pride. For 40 days did Jesus wrestle with his carnal self, his higher self prevailed. And then he was what? Hungry. But his friends had found him and they ministered to him. Then Jesus left the wilderness and what? In the consciousness of holy breath. He came unto the camps of John and taught, meaning he wasn't the same Jesus coming out of the wilderness as he was when he went in. See that?
Yes, sir.
And then we're taught in chapter 1, without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. There you go. See? So no, we have it too. Right?
Yes, sir.
We have it too. Fasting, it's not just fasting from physical food, right? It's fasting from whatever comes into the thoughts and into the mind. It's a purging of the things that shouldn't be there in the first place. Brother J. Blakely-Bey said it this way. He said, let us purge ourselves to the degree of purity in heart. See, purging is fasting, people.
And then, you know, when we think about it, purging yourself.
Right.
Wow. And that's and another thing, another way of saying purging yourself is taking yourself through intense heat. because heat purifies us.
That's what fire does, right?
Fire does. So, you know, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. It also goes right along with the trials and strict trials and due examinations that we go through in life.
Come on,
you
brother.
Know what I mean?
Come on, brother. That's right. Being often tried,
never denied, and willing to
be tried again. I used to have a lyric back in the days where I talked about it. I said, "The fire in the cipher burns cold and murders everything that's not pure gold." Right?
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at? Okay, Hajj. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and founders of the holy city of Mecca. What are we talking about here? Hajj is the pilgrimage, right?
Right.
Okay. Do we necessarily need a physical pilgrimage?
No.
What is Hajj? What is it a return to? It's a return.
It's a return to Allah.
Thank you. The source of our faith, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's Hajj. That's Hajj. So us proclaiming nationality is Hajj. Returning back to our forefathers' state of mind.
And then that goes right back to the path of the soul or the path of the heart.
Correct, brother. Sure does. Correct. All right. Skip down to number 13. 13.
Okay, number 13. Here we go.
People will say, but you know, y'all don't have the 5 pillars. Y'all have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That ain't what Prophet Muhammad brought. Really? Here we go. Love. Surah 3, ayat 92. Never will you attain the good reward until you spend in the way of Allah from that which you love. And whatever you spend, indeed, Allah is knowing of it. Let's go. Truth. Surah 33 and ayat 23. Of the believers are men who are true to the covenant, which they made with Allah. So of them is he who accomplished his vow, and of them is he who yet waits, and they have not changed in the least.
Holy covenant of the Asiatic nation.
Come on, brother. And then peace. Surah 25, ayat 26. Therein they will hear no abusive speech, nor any talk of sin, only the saying, peace, peace.
Don't that sound familiar?
Sure does. Shout out to our brother Way. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace. Right. Peace. Yes, sir.
And then freedom. Surah 76, ayat 29. This is a reminder from God to humanity so that whomever wishes may take a path to their Lord. And then justice, which is Surah 4, ayat 135. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witness for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. In other words, tell the truth, even if it means your death. Whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not personal inclination, lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed Allah is ever with what you do acquainted.
He the dictates of the soul.
Come on, brother. Come on. Now we get to a good slide. Next slide. We get to a good slide. See, we've talked about, up to this point, we've talked about a comparative analysis between the principles of Prophet Muhammad and the principles and practice of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and shown how they're congruent. But remember, Prophet Muhammad is not the founder of Islam. He's not the founder of Islamism. We credit him as being the founder of the uniting of Islam. That is why he's called the seal of the prophets. He's not the last prophet. He's the seal, meaning he confirmed in him all the prophets before him.
Authenticity.
There you go. See? And watch this. What was one of the biggest things that he did, the significant things that he did relating to being the seal of the prophet? None of the prophets before him gave a name to what they taught. None of them. Jesus did not teach Christianity. He didn't give it a name. Buddha didn't teach Buddhism. Confucians didn't teach Confucianism. Their followers later called their teachings this. And it goes back to something I often repeat out of Buddhism. One of the most famous stories out of Buddhism where the teacher's pointing at the moon and all the students are looking at the finger instead of where he's pointing. See that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So none of them gave a name to what? Obeying God. Prophet Muhammad gave it a name.
Called it this.
There you go. See? All right. Now, but remember, he's not the founder of it. We say, What is our religion? Islamism. Is that the new or the old time religion? Old time. In other words, it predates Prophet Muhammad. Ooh, see? So here are some principles that predate Prophet Muhammad that Prophet Drew Ali retained in our practice and in our doctrine. That now modern expression of Islam from the East discarded through the reformist movement.
Whoa.
They discarded it. Internalization of God and devil. The only devil that man must be redeemed from is what?
Himself.
Come on, brother. Right? Can the higher self pass away?
No.
Why?
Because it's a law in man.
A law in man. Come on, brother. Woo. See?
Yes, sir.
The prophet gave us secrets. Things that were suppressed and held back from the outside world for ages. Here's another one. Reincarnation. What was the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Answer?
Prophet Muhammad, the conqueror.
That's a fact. So we retain that. That's old world thinking. Our prophet brought it back to us. Here's a big one. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Again, shout out to my brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. This is his field of study, theology. That's what he has a doctorate in. Divine plurality within monotheism. Again, remember we talked about the identity principle of multiplication as opposed to identity principle of addition, right?
Right.
Man's ideal is his God, so as man unfolds, his God unfolds. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. We're not saying that there's only one God. Woo!
We're saying that there isn't one.
Now watch this. What we're saying is Allah is beyond the mere ideal of man.
Exactly.
Allah is actually beyond godness. He's beyond that. See? That's what we're saying. You see? And within the mind of Allah, there are gods. Why? Man is a creator. Allah never made a heaven for man. He never made a hell. We are what?
Creators.
And make our own. Come on, bro.
Gods.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ancestral veneration. Woo! Our brothers that practice the old African traditions are gonna love that. Ancestral veneration. What do you think we're doing? Like you hear our brothers say, well, they do a libation for this ancestor, a libation for that, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's a dope custom. We do it when we give praise and honors. We start with Allah and we get right down to the personal.
Exactly.
Now watch this. Watch this for those civically minded. There's something in civics called chain of constituency. In other words, if civics is the science by which the average citizen interfaces and interacts with his government. You got to know how. You got to know who you can directly talk to and who their chain is all the way up. That's called chain of constituency. That's what we're doing when we give praise and honors. See that?
Yes, sir.
That's what we're doing. All right. Yeah, ancestral veneration. What is the everlasting gospel? It is a saving power that comes from Allah. How?
Through
our ancient fathers by his prophet. Now let's talk about that for a quick second. We're taught that man and Allah are one. While Allah lives, what? Man cannot die. That means that means, what does that mean, people? Is Prophet Ali dead?
No.
Only from the carnal point of view. Which means if man is a living soul and the soul is pre-birth and post-mortem, and the prophet is reported to have said, if I don't teach you here, I'll teach you on the soul plane. That means we can learn from the prophet now. That means I can ask for the assistance of my great-great-grandfather now. And guess what? In doing so, I'm not practicing polytheism.
Because they're very much alive.
How about that? How about that? See?
Yes, sir.
A lot of times we just read these words and then just go, oh, yeah, that's cool. No. It's application. The saving power is in the practicality. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Say it again?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Then this last one, again, shout out to my brother, because I learned this term from my brother Wesley Muhammad. Transcendental anthropomorphism. Transcendental anthropomorphism.
From manhood to godhood.
What did Jesus say? Chapter 19. Behold, I am not myth made of the fleeting winds, for I am flesh and bone and brawn, but I can cross the borderland.
Yeah.
See? And then what did the other one say? And then we saw this man who was just demonstrated unto us the power of man to raise from carnal flesh and blood to what? Flesh of Allah. A babe in Bethlehem. He is the God-man of today, but everyone of earth shall overcome and be like him, a son of Allah. Woo. Woo. See, this is all tenets of old-time religion that the Islamic reformist movement purged out. We talked about that in our last show.
Yes, sir.
Now, next slide. We're almost done. Next slide. This one is worth the price of admission. This slide right here. Science versus scientism.
Yes.
European psychology's impact on spiritual investigation. The word science is derived from the word sire, which means to know. It is neutral with respect to religion. In other words, we were taught wrong. We were taught that religion and science oppose each other. Science, by pure definition of the word, is neutral as it relates to religion. Hence, the word theology means what? The science of God or the science of deity. See? Now, under the European psychology, it has come to mean over time the organized study of physical reality. Okay?
Yes, sir.
In other words, an empirical or sensory means of knowing the material world. In other words, this is what we're talking about is scientism, not science. In other words, if it is not physical, it cannot be known, even if something non-material actually exists. This is what people believe science to be today, especially a lot of our brothers in the so-called conscious community or woke community. They'll say, if you can't touch, taste, hear, smell, or see it, then it's pseudo. That's what they'll say. Without realizing that what Rome did to the teachings of Jesus and the Nicene Council is what the European psychology did to actual science. It did it to science too, people. It's true. Now, this stands in stark contrast to the Islamic view of reality. Let's go back. What did we say? The word Islam, it comes from the root word sim, lam, and mim, which means what? Oneness, wholeness, completeness.
Yes, sir.
So if all is one, didn't Jesus say that in our Holy Quran, Moorish Science of America? He said, Allah is one, yet he is more than one. All things are one. All things are one. That means everything is connected to everything.
One piece.
Okay. So guess what? Alchemy is the ancient science of transmutation. In other words, from the Islamic point of view, just changing its expression. It's still the same thought anyway. That's why, under Islamic thinking, alchemy makes perfect sense. But if you're focused on the appearance, on the manifest, and not the essence, then it's near impossible. You see, so there was a time, and still is now in certain circles, that Western science will say that alchemy or transmutation is impossible. You can't turn lead into gold. But guess what? There's white paper right now where scientists have literally done just that. See?
Yes,
literally.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, all right, let's continue. Scientism, the claim that modern science has a monopoly on knowledge, and that is the issue, people. This whole thing of scientism, first and foremost, ain't real science. Secondly, it's trying to overthrow any other means by which of analyzing the nature of reality, of which true religion is.
Basically, falsehood wearing truth clothes.
Straight up and down, brother. I like that. I like that. Science is not scientism, but being confined to the use of the scientific method is the only way to knowledge is an indoctrination into scientism. Now, follow me on this. This is very important. The profound internal contradiction in scientism is this. It is impossible to know whether the only way to truly know anything is by using your physical senses, In other words, I say the only thing you can use is your physical senses. That's all you can use. Can't use nothing else.
It's already limited.
And thank you. And then I say, right, that's the only way you can investigate is through your physical senses. So anything beyond your physical senses doesn't exist.
You can't investigate the wind.
You can't. Thank you. You see?
Yeah. So why we talking about atoms and all of that?
How about that? You see?
Things
so in other words, this contradiction,
right?
This contradiction makes it internally inconsistent and it refutes itself. If the assertion is true, it proves itself false. Scientism is not science, people. It is simply bad philosophy. Thus, we are dealing with scientism versus religion, not science versus religion. Scientism is an ideological construction of science as an alternative worldview. It seeks to overthrow the worldview of true religion and reduce religion to mere ethics. See? It secularized it without a claim over the nature of reality. What did Prophet Jurali teach us? We are returning to Islam as it was founded by our forefathers.
Yes.
For our earthly and divine salvation. So our forefathers were the founders of the first Islamic creed, first religious creed for the salvation of mankind on earth. In other words, we founded the first means of defining the nature of reality. That's what we did. Now, next slide. Here we go. Principles of Islamic science, Tawheed. You familiar with Tawheed?
Yes, sir. Oneness.
Oneness. That Allah is not only the source of all reality, Allah is the only reality. That is why we say La ilaha illallah does not mean there's no God but Allah. It means there is no God. There is only Allah. See? That thingness or manifestation is a result of duality, having a beginning and an end. It is not permanent and therefore not real. Yeah. This is how we define what is real and what is not. Only permanence is real.
Yes.
Anything else is an illusion. So we look at the world backwards. We think if you could touch, taste, hear, smell, see, feel it, then it's real. No. No, that's backwards. It's inside out. Because we know this ain't permanent.
And then those who know that the space inwardly is more vast than the space outwardly.
Brother, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. See, manifest creation and all of its variations are processes, thoughts of Allah that are now returning to Allah. Man and Allah are one. That's also part of Tawheed from the Moorish perspective. Thus, man's thoughts are also living things.
That's how they create conditions.
And conditions download down to the rate of atmosphere and you see it manifest.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. Numbers as ayats or verses of Allah, Islamic story taught to children in the East to integrate knowledge. What do we mean by that? Here we go. We've heard of Pythagorean mathematics. Of course, this comes from Pythagoras, who was a Greek who learned where? In Egypt. Now we hear talk about Pythagorean mathematics, but what are some of the tenets of Pythagorean mathematics? What are some of the tenets of our ancient forefathers as it relates to mathematics? Here we go. In the West, we only know numbers. We'll say that numbers are the universal language, sure, but we only know it from one aspect, the quantitative aspect. I've got 3 apples in my hand. Brother Sheikh 7 Ill has 5 apples in his hand. You see, we only know it from a quantitative perspective.
Right.
That's all we know. In Pythagorean mathematics, right? In the mathematics that our brothers in the Dogon tribe in Mali, the Dogon priesthood in Mali practice.
Actually, they're actually deities.
Thank you, brother. You hit it right on the nose. It has a quantitative function and a qualitative function, meaning the numbers have attributes. They have a character. They have a life.
They're entities.
Yes. So in Egypt, they'll say 1. And then the teacher will say 1, and the children repeat back, Wahid huwa Rabbi, which means he is my Lord. Woo. And then they'll say 2, and the children respond, Ifnam Baba wa Mama, meaning 2 is father and mother. Then they'll say 3. They'll say, Thalatha huma ikhwati, which means are my siblings. Don't that sound like supreme mathematics?
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
Actually.
All right.
Yeah. Almost down to, yeah. Yes, sir.
You see it?
Yes, sir.
1 in Arabic is wahid and is the principle of all numbers. Remember what we said, Islamism, or the word sim lam mim, implies what? Oneness. All right. Allah is al-wahid, meaning the creator of all things. Everything comes from Allah al-wahid and returns to him. I can prove it. What comes after 1? 2. What comes after 2? 3. What comes after 3? 4. All the way down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then what?
10.
back to 1.
Back to 0.
Next slide.
And I would like to say, isn't it interesting that the Arabic word for one is wahid, and the Arabic word for love is wahdud?
Wahdud. Allah is what? Love. And
love.
one. How about that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
This is the last slide, people. Moorish science equals Islamism, and Islamism equals true religion. The consciousness that man is aught, that Allah and man are one, that naught is naught, that power is but an illusion, that heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but where? In. Which in the light of aught becomes naught, and Allah is all. You see this little mathematical formula on the far left of the slide?
Mm-hmm.
What are we using? The identity principle of mathematics.
Multiplication.
Yeah, I know, identity principle of multiplication. That's right.
Yes,
1 times 1 is what?
1.
1. 11 times 11 is what? 121. But notice, follow me. 11 times 11. How many numbers are in 11? 2. 101 times 101. How many numbers? 3. 1,000. Okay, you see the? Okay, you see it.
Pattern.
That is order in the universe. That is kum fayakum. Allah says be, and it is. In other words, the spirit of Allah, the holy breath, spoke on the pliant substances, breathed upon the pliant substances, and order comes out of chaos. Life springs forth from death. Disunity is chaos, death. Disillusion is chaos, is death. Organization,
oneness,
coming together is life. See? This method illustrates the qualitative dimension of the numbers, that each number has a life or personality that is expressed in the religious literature. The said principles can be revisited at different stages of the child's mathematical development. This avoids the Euro-Western perspective on education that we call drill and kill. In other words, the tombstone method, just sit you up in a room and dictate to you.
And you know what?
Yes,
I realized I was never good at that.
Many of us rejected it, brother, for a good reason. Some of the most intelligent people I know never finished school. And I know some super intelligent people, and they never finished. So we call that method that's the drill and kill method. It's indoctrination. It's not education. The etymology of the word education speaks to drawing something out of the student, which is why the master way to educate is to ask a question.
Hence your one-on-ones.
How about that?
Question.
That's right. Now, does the Moorish Science Temple of America have this qualitative function to numbers? Yes. Bottom left of the slide. The number 1, belief. What man thinks perhaps is true. Also what? The chemistry of mortal life. We can take it further. We can keep going with it, right? 2, faith. That which man knows is true. Also the ministry of death. 3, fruition. Man himself is the truth and the mystery of deific life. So we have qualitative function to number 2. See? Islam is mathematics.
Yeah. Allah, the prophet, the temple.
Come on, brother. So simple. See? See? Spirit, soul, flesh.
Right. There we go with those 3s.
How about that? How about that? See? Ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Islam is truth. Truth is one, and Islam is one. Islam is mathematics. See?
Mm-hmm.
That is the presentation, people. See, one of the things you had mentioned before about the PowerPoints, right? We have a certain process in Ali's Men. Shout out to in Islam to Ali's Men, right? Moorish American think tank / research team.
Honor to the brothers.
We developed a methodology, right?
Mm-hmm.
The methodology, the ideal is when doing a presentation, you present it as if you're writing a book.
Mm.
So if people want to have issue with the presentation, what they really have issue with is the references, not me. You got to vet my sources, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, your issue ain't with me. Your issue's with my sources that I presented.
Yeah.
See?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And not so much as your way you're thinking about it, but the sources.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your issue ain't with me.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed.
Sure.
And you gave it to us heavy. Anybody want to come up and ask some questions?
Please, yes. Well, what did you guys think? What did you all think of the presentation?
Brother. You know, I always enjoy the PowerPoint presentations. I always enjoy them. Right, Sheikh Bilal. It's just the sound shifts that seem so connecting.
What happened?
I was talking to the brother, Sheikh Bilal. He said there's no ha in Wadud, and I said yes, but the sound I was speaking of in the sound department.
Yes.
In the phonics of it.
Got you.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me put the this is what I'll do. Let's see what we got here. Give me just a second, and we'll do it like this. Yes. All right, we'll do this. Here we go, people. The link is in the chat.
Yes.
You want to hit the link and come in and ask a question. You know, don't forget to support the channel.
Absolutely.
We're also going to put the brothers.
It's a decent amount of people watching.
Yes, sir. We're going to put the brother Sharif Anael-Bey's Cash App up. Donate to the brother. Support the brother in his efforts to extend the learning and the truth.
Functionality, a number of self. I'm looking at what Brother Self Elevation said. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Yep, he's right.
Yes, sir. So we got the link in the chat. We'll give y'all a second to come up, or if you have any questions that you would like answered, super chat them to us. We have a shoot us a super chat, and we'll bring them right up and we'll deal with them.
Absolutely.
Man, great.
Appreciate you, Brother Aaron Hunt. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Raphael the Moore.
Raphael, yes, sir. That brother's about to get obligated soon, brother.
Hey, man, congratulations. And may Allah bless your union.
Sure. That's a blessing.
Oh, man, take unto thyself a wife. Any man.
Obey the ordinance of Allah, right?
When any man who's taking it to himself a wife is taking it to himself a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Empress Mika, peace, sister. What do we got? Who else? Self-elevation. Yeah, that's right. Key education definitely needed. That's right.
Getting it in. Hey, your family, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the like button for me.
Right.
Please hit the like button for us.
Absolutely. And brother Aaron Hunt, understand this is another thing too. You know, people will say it, and a lot of our people will say, yeah, well, the Moors contributed this and Moors contributed that. Brother, that's you. See, here's the thing. Moorish history is the missing link history to quote unquote Black history. It's the missing link. It's what separates us from the rest of the human family. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why there's such a hush about it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. You see? So don't look at it, oh, well, the Moors did this. No, those are your forefathers and my forefathers. We did that. Don't you realize if you apply the doctrine of reincarnation, that we don't just say those are our forefathers. That was us. We're back to finish what we started. We're back to fix what we screwed up.
As we're taught, you know.
Yes.
We are, you know, we are who our ancient forefathers were.
Without a doubt and contradiction, bro. That's it. We're back to, come on, you know how that works. People like, man, I'm gonna go take this drink. I'm gonna get drunk and drown my problems away. When you shake off that drunkenness, what's still there? The problem. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. See, mm-hmm. Yeah, man, we're back to fix. That's also why reincarnation is a part of the mercy of Allah.
Mm.
You get another chance.
And also, man, even in that degree,
mm-hmm.
We could take it a little further, man. It should make you investigate your character and who you are to figure out who you were then.
Brother. But see, wow. See, just contemplating the idea that you were someone prenatal and will be someone post-mortem forces you out of your body and forces you out of this present incarnation. And it begins to open up the memory of past lives. You have people talking, I want to remember past lives. Well, okay, you have to, I'm giving you a practical means to begin the remembering. You have to first contemplate the ideal that you existed before this incarnation.
And a lot of people do it anyway, and they don't know it because if you're dealing with past traumas that you can't identify with.
That's old residue.
That's old residue. So
that's you're doing fact.
It. Little do you know.
If those of you that practice or read up on astrology, and I mean real astrology, not the, foolery.
Yeah,
real astrology, your moon sign from the esoteric perspective is karmic garbage from the previous life.
And you know what? I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go read my reading again.
Your moon sign will carry moon sign in your south node. Moon sign and south node will tell you about, stuff that you dragged along from the previous life that you still have to resolve. Yes. Maybe we'll do a show on that.
Yes. We got 2 shows coming.
Yes, sir.
We done thought, it might have been 3 you done thought of.
I know, right?
Yes, sir. We can definitely drop those shows.
Absolutely.
And we'll get straight to them because we know this is something that we love to do. And I love to present brothers of this magnitude to bring the information, I don't do too much talking because I'm a student too. I like to learn.
Mo, one of the days we're gonna have to reverse roles, and I'm gonna have to interview you about your Sufi travels.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, bro.
I would definitely be willing to.
That would be powerful. and then do like a comparative analysis between those travels and what you and what you have in the temple.
Man, that would be beautiful too, man. And it's and you know, that's been a subject matter in the Moorish world before too, you know, and you know, people have their reservations,
Of course.
And then you have those who are, you know, gravitate towards it. So, you know, I would most definitely, you know, I'm gonna take a page out your book. I'm gonna come with a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, my PowerPoint game kind of swift too now.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was told by my brothers in Ali's, man, they were like, you know, you got to tone down the visuals in your presentation. And like they literally, he said, no.
No. You got to realize a lot of people learn pictorially.
That's a fact.
You know, and not to say that said individuals have a problem with reading. That's not what I'm saying. But we do know that information is received in different ways, better for different people in different ways.
That's a fact, brother. So, that's a fact.
Like with me, right? Like with me, I like to learn one-on-one. You know, I can learn in a group setting.
Yes.
I'm good that way. However, I like one-on-one with my teacher where I can get intimate and ask the questions.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just like when we dialogue, when me and you dialogue, you know, I pick your brain. Now, what's that? And what's
but see, I'm glad you said that. There's in the East, again, a part of old time religion. This is a part of, and you know who covers this? Our brother, Professor Rudolph Ware, in his book, The Walking Quran, when he describes the difference in modern day Islam in West Africa as opposed to modern day Islam in Saudi Arabia. Modern day Islam in West Africa still retains what I'm about to say. Ancient China does this as well, because this is a part of my Gong Fu tradition. We call it direct transmission. So follow me. You could do it right now. Matter of fact, the audience, we're going to do an experiment right now, an energetic experiment right now.
Okay, here we go.
Ready? This is called direct transmission. And even, in other words, direct transmission works like this. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is not specifically verbal information. Notice it said verbal. Okay. So my body language conveys communication. The tone of my voice conveys communication, conveys information. Okay. So there's what we call direct knowledge. Direct knowledge surpasses just the verbal. And with direct knowledge, you may not intellectually comprehend the words coming out of my mouth, but if your mind is calm and your whole body is receptive, you still receive it. It still comes and then downloads in your body. You understand? This is something that you've discovered just intrinsically, which is why one-to-one works so well, because it employs, at least in part, direct transmission.
I feel it now.
Now, okay, because I'm turning it on now. That's why. Now watch this. I want everybody to do this. Everybody watching, hold your hands out against your palms, right? Okay, pay attention to how your palms feel. You can feel a gust of wind going across them, don't you? Now, as I'm talking, keep feeling. As I'm talking, you can sense the vibration of my words on your palms, can't you?
Yes.
That's direct transmission, brother.
Whoa.
That's direct transmission.
Whoa, yeah, bro, that was real.
Yes, sir, it's real.
Bro, anybody else do it? Am I here spooked out? What's going on, chat? I was the only one who did it.
They're doing on the playback.
Wow, so I guess.
Yeah.
No, brother, no, brother Carl Roberts Bay. You did it too. I know you did it, and you trying to act like you didn't do it, brother. I know you did it. Yeah. Brother Aaron Hunt said we locked in. He did it. I knew I wasn't the only one. Don't y'all make me feel alienated in here,
right.
Man. We all family in here, bro. You don't have to act like that.
Right.
You know, and what's funny, man? What's funny, man?
He said, because he didn't hear it.
Yeah, he said he did. He said he did do it. I know you did it. I know you did. Everybody in here trying to act like you didn't do it.
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
Did it.
Good.
Yeah, they did it. Yeah. Man, like see those exercises, like
yes,
those exercises, those experiments, right there. What it does, it forces you. It like what you don't want to believe.
We have a saying in our martial arts tradition. We say, and also in our bioenergetic tradition, because that's what we just did. It was bioenergetic, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing is believing. Feeling is the truth.
And what the Rastafari, what the Rasta said when I was in that circle, they said, "One who feels it knows it."
Correct. See, when you feel it, it's yours now.
Yeah.
You drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you drunk the Kool-Aid.
It's right. It's yours.
Like, bro, it's not. I drunk the Kool-Aid in one experiment, right?
Yes.
It's nothing anyone can tell me to make me believe that I am my body. It's no way possible.
No way possible.
It's
once you know, bro.
Way possible.
That's right.
Now, can I thoroughly and completely explain it in words? No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? No.
But you know.
But I know. But see, that shows and proves knowing is beyond having the words.
Come on, brother. And just like duality falls apart at a particular point, verbal communication does too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that brings me to think about in our Holy Quran that Allah lives not in the noise of the tongue.
Come on, brother. That's right. Don't live there.
Nothing.
See, that is why, remember we said it earlier in the show, things like art, music, dance have the power to convey things in terms of communication that verbal communication can't. That's why you can see a piece of artwork and be like, oh, and it just, you know. Yeah.
Bro, I saw just I forgot who the artist was, but it was a brother, the craft. And I saw the painting, and it was like everything on the painting just jumped out at me. I could understand everything that was on it, but it was all symbolism.
Ain't that crazy, brother?
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it actually made me shed a tear because what was behind it, the information that was behind it was so powerful,
right?
That it made me shed a tear. Like, wow, like, how could you put all of this in there, but at the same time not put it in there? Like, man, listen, like,
right.
Here go another show I would like to bring you.
Yes.
Sheikh Bilal, Khalil.
Yep.
Sheikh Azim that came on, dealt with the left hand path. And I would like to bring Brother Terrain Hicks on. I like to have all y'all on one panel.
That would be crazy.
And I want y'all to talk about zikr.
Ooh. That's a show.
And I'll join in on that one.
That's a show. Oh my goodness, bro.
I'll join in on that one.
Bro, I was gonna say something. I'm gonna save it for that show.
Man, I'm gonna say what I said the last time.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows about zikr, those zikrs are alive, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Bro, go ahead and say it. I know you want to say it. Go ahead and say it. Say it.
Shout out to my brother R-Web-Bey. Brother R-Web-Bey, Sheikh, divine minister. He's now originally out of Memphis, Tennessee. He's now in Atlanta, Georgia. He and his sister created an award-winning charter school that is now an award-winning charter school in Memphis, in a burnt-out section of Memphis, Tennessee.
Man, praise Allah. Congratulations.
Burnt out,
And
but
honest
they did their thing.
gratitude.
Now he travels the country training educators. But I say that to say this: he's also a disciple of the late Malidoma Some. Right. So he was talking about an initiation that they undertook, right, and how they took a stick. They had to get a stick out of the woods, and they had to. And they were told, you have to dress the stick like it's your brother or your son. And so first thing he said, oh, so this is going to represent my son. He said, no, it's not a representation. That's your son. It's not a representation. What'd you say about the Zika beads? Okay.
Oh, wow. Hey. Listen, I want to say this, right?
Yes, sir.
And shout out to my sister, Lachey Honey Dip Corley. She passed away. And she was a sister. She proclaimed her nationality. She was very much into, veneration of our ancestors. She was also a companion of our dear brother who just passed away as well. But she had a staff. Her mother still has it. And shout out to her sister Taliba Corley.
Praise the Lord.
She had a stick, like a staff, not a stick, a staff. And no joking, bro. The staff smoked cigarettes.
Oh no, that's crazy.
You think?
No. I've seen some interesting things, so I don't doubt it.
It's so serious that the sister keeps cigarettes in the house just for the staff.
Brother, listen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show video. The brother passed away. He's out of China. His name was John Chang, right? He was a Chinese. He's Indonesian-born Chinese. A doctor, also a Kung Fu man. But his particular system of Kung Fu really, 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 really esoteric. He was the subject of a documentary by these two Europeans traveling through Indonesia. The documentary is called Man of Fire. So they were traveling in the wilderness in Indonesia, looking, for peoples that living in the jungle away from civilization, whatever. But at one point, one of them developed a bad eye infection, so they had to go into the city of Jakarta. They had heard rumors about this one acupuncturist who was really amazing, right? They go to see John Chang. John Chang does electroacupuncture with no electricity. And there's video footage.
Straight chi.
There's video footage, bro, where he's manipulating the needles and they can't. And and then they were asking him, so what are you doing? He said, well, through meditation, long years of meditation, we have a positive pole and a negative pole. We put them together with like an electric eel. Hold on. So one of the people didn't believe him. One of the camera woman, she didn't believe him, right? So one guy touched his hand, pow, shocked him. The woman touched his belly, boom, shocked her. So then they were thinking you're just doing some kind of mind trick. They said, can you do this to inanimate objects? Brother, this man tore a piece of newspaper, crunched it up, put it on the floor, boom, and set it on fire right in front of him.
Whoa.
Now, I bring him up for this reason. In Indonesia, our forefathers, and this is still done to this day, in Indonesia, you've seen the blades are called keris. They're like wavy.
Yes.
Bro, the master swordsmiths who make them in those days, they were Islamic scientists. They would infuse a spirit into the sword. Listen what I'm telling you. The real Keris swords have a spirit infused in them. Listen what I'm about to say, bro. And the right individual who knows how can call the name of the sword, and it will move, brother. It will jump out of the scabbard. It'll fly back into the scabbard. It will spin around. There's video of this, bro.
Oh, in the movies.
There's video of people doing this, including John Chang doing this.
Oh, bro. So, oh man. You know what this brings? I don't know why this brings me to this.
Mm-hmm.
You were just demonstrating on another podcast. Matter of fact, it was on NYP Talk Show.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to
Brother Ron Brown,
Brother
Bay.
Ron and Mikey Feet.
Yes, sir.
Salute to the gods.
Yes, sir.
And it makes me think of this, and I ain't gonna hold the people up too much longer. You were speaking about Osiris, the Lord of the Perfect Black.
Lord of the Perfect Black.
Now, he was also known as the Green One, right?
He was, brother.
So we have in our teachings,
alchemy,
black according to science.
Science means death.
Black according to science means death. But then we have in Islam,
alchemy,
the color green
means
also
pure.
represents everlasting life.
Everlasting life, brother. Sounds like that sprig of acacia, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Hey, listen, and this is something I also wanted to say.
Yes.
About the zikr, when we was talking about zikr, the zikr beads are alive.
Yes.
If you know, so all of those who are interested in zikr beads,
come on, bro.
I have them for you.
Yes, you do.
I have them for you. So if you're interested in purchasing a set of beads, like one of my brothers told me, I don't sell beads. I don't sell beads. I just distribute energy. So if you're interested,
that's big.
You know,
see, and there's something deep you said, right? See, when I was talking earlier, we did a little experiment with direct transmission, right? Mm-hmm. Our method is a method of direct transmission.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That being said, I have to be harboring good and wholesome thoughts, or else I'm going to transmit issues. You see? Yeah.
Because we have a certain way we say it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that whoa.
So watch this. Before you begin reciting zikr, and you say, right, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right?
Mm-hmm.
That equates to a spiritual wudu.
And setting the intentions.
Correct. You clean yourself, bomb.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. And that's why, oh man, when one's actually perform the wudu, if that's what they do.
Yes.
We're taught to, with every motion, Bismillah.
Yes.
Bismillah.
Yes. And keep your heart and mind pure with love. And bodies clean with
And then, if you really, focus in that consciousness, it actually can change the molecular structure of the water.
Brother, actual fact, you guys know that, or if you don't, you should. See, but it goes back to what you said about the zikr beads being alive. There's a reason why they're alive, right? What you said about changing molecular structure of water, well, what's doing that? Human intent. Consciousness is doing that. We have to exercise consciousness. See? Because consciousness is the prime investigative tool that we use to scientifically investigate non-physical phenomena. It's consciousness, people. That's why we could say feeling is the truth. See?
And you always do that, bro. You always do that, bro.
Nah, bro, you help bring it out. Because most of this stuff ain't scripted. It's just coming out, bro.
Hey, listen, and look, even brother Carl Roberts Bay, he'll tell you, you know, sometimes the brothers that get around me,
yes, sir,
and I end up doing them the way you do me.
Praise Allah.
So it's probably amazing that he can see me react in the same way that he reacts. But I feel like that's good, because what it does is continuously show them, though I'm in a position of teaching, I'm always a student.
But I'm the same way.
Learning. I love learning. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the same way. Like I said, I had a conversation earlier today with the Grand Governor of the state of Maryland. And yeah, he dropped a mean one on me, you know? I was just like...
That's when you just tear your face up, like...
Yo, like it's a dead body in the room. Like, what? You know?
Man, we could have so many, like, I do have some other shows in mind, and I'm not, and I want to take, because I want the people to understand, we can take these conversations to places where, you know, like, when it actually starts to begin to challenge people's whole view on life.
But guess what? That's what we're supposed to do. I mean, the prophet didn't tell us everything, and even said as much. But he also said, I could tell you some things that'll turn your brain to water.
But he also said he gave us everything it took to save a nation.
And take these and save yourself, right? And then in our teaching, it says, what wouldst thou raise thy thoughts to
infinite wisdom?
Wouldst thou
see
omnipotence displayed before thee?
Oh. You made me tear my own face up again. And I done read that a million times, brother.
Right. In other words, that's a challenge. It's like, because to say it means that you're capable. But
right.
But do you dare? See, that's the thing. Do you dare? We have a saying in some of the secret orders, they say to know, the formula, to know, to dare, to will, and to be silent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
But do you dare see yourself as one with Allah? Look how much damage has been done to our psyche over the past 500 some odd years. Most of us don't dare to think that.
Right. But you know what? I dare to think that way.
But that's why the prophet said what he said. He said he didn't say he needed everybody. He said he needs strong men and women who think their condition can be better. Most of us have accepted our condition as what is. We don't believe our condition can be better.
And if I believe that, there wouldn't be a Let's Think podcast.
Come on.
It would not be, because I wouldn't have any reason to even be talking like this.
You wouldn't have any reason to even be talking about, hey, learn how to think.
There you go.
You be saying what DMX said to Nas and Belly, who was born to die, so in the meantime, get money.
I remember I used to think that way too. I remember.
Yes.
Wasn't too far gone. Ain't been too that much long ago. So exactly. You know, it's very recent. It's very recent. But
well, you know what our Quran says? The wise man feeleth his own imperfections and is humbled by them.
Yeah, bro.
It could have been 20 years ago, but to the wise man, it feels like it was just yesterday.
Man.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yes. I know me.
Sir.
You know what I pray for all the time? Not enough. The strength to not slide back, bro.
So easy.
What?
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
I pray for the strength to not slide back, because if I'm being honest with myself, I like how Monique said it. The comedian sister Monique,
Mm-hmm.
when she was doing a set at a women's prison, and they were all like, "Oh, it's Monique! Oh my God, she's the star!" And da 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 da, and we love you, and this and the third. Yo, she kept it a buck with him. You hear me? You know what she said? She said, "Don't think of me that way, because I'm only one situation away from being right where you are." What?
Serious.
Yo, she kept it real with him.
Serious. Serious. That was hard body. Serious, bro.
She said, "I'm only one situation away from being exactly where you are."
Whoa. Man, we got to get another one. Wesley Muhammad, brother Wesley Muhammad. I know somebody who speaks to the brother is watching this. And if he's not watching himself, listen here.
Brother, I'm going to, inshallah, I will be meeting him in Rochester, New York later this month.
Praise be to Allah. And brother Wesley, I need you, brother Sharif, and brother Khalil to come on and do Otherworldism part 2.
That would be a mean show.
I need that. I need
what?
That. I need what? That. I need that.
That would be a mean show, brother.
And I know some people listening, so don't run off. Don't you do
it. Right.
Don't you do it.
Exactly.
But you know, we talk about those, we bring it the way we bring it, man. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this. I have no monopoly on information. I would never feel like, you know, just because another brother in the blog in the podcast world does a show,
right,
that, you know, on a topic that I've done,
right,
you know what I'm saying? I never take it as offense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I actually thank you for doing it, because you're probably going to, hopefully you would further my information, and then maybe we could run it back in full circle, and then we can just bring it all together.
But see, here's the other thing too, brother. Somebody like yourself, somebody like myself, somebody like especially Dr. Wesley Muhammad, like our brother Khalil, like my assistant, the assistant grand sheikh of the Moorish American Incorporated, brother A. Hopkins Bey, yes, brother. We've put in a whole lot of time to make ourselves valuable.
At least I strive to.
That's what we strive to do. And we continuously strive to do that. So what we're doing now is just sharing the fruits of our own labor.
Yes, sir. Sharing, spending that of what Allah has bestowed upon us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're doing.
And I love it. You know, I love the man. Listen, and the beautiful thing about this is that I'm providing a platform for the people, but at the same time, hey, yo, I'm eating. I'm in the dessert bowl too. I'm like, yo, you know, so it's not only it's experience for y'all, but I'm learning too.
But see, what happens to me, like when I'm on with New York Perspective, when I'm on with you, it happens a lot, right? A lot of times you don't even know the depth of what's in you. But you're such a great host. But the Ron Brown Bey and Mikey Fever are such great hosts. They pull things out of me I didn't even know were in me. That's why a lot of times I'll say something, be like, well, I'll be like, man, brother, listen, I ain't know that was there. You pulled it out.
But you know what? Ain't that a beautiful thing?
Yes.
How in our organization, on the Moorish Temple of America, we have the tradition or the custom of writing minutes, where you have
about that.
You know, so those things that come out of you that you can actually go back and reflect on them.
They're immortalized.
Yes, sir.
They're or memorialized. That's the better word. It's you know, this one brother years ago, his research skills were stupid. I learned a lot from him a long time ago. And he told me something that was super deep relative to what you just said. He said, what would be the #1 research tool if it had actually existed? I said, I don't know. What? He said, a time machine. He said, what's the next best thing? I said, a history book? He said, absolutely not. You know what the next best thing to a time machine is?
What's that?
Minutes.
It take you right back. It take you right
You
there.
were right there in the room. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like when I read the minutes from the first annual convention, the first,
You were there.
man, it was like, bro, and it's like, bro, I don't want to sound like I'm tripping, but it actually, like, I felt like I was sitting in the room,
Bro.
Yeah, like, man, it is, especially when you so in tune. You know, when you have like the way I believe.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And let me say this to the listening audience. I have no problem with belief. I do believe.
Man, I don't either. You already know, but go ahead.
Yeah. So the way I believe in it and how wholeheartedly I do, it was like I could almost taste the dust in the air.
Ain't that? No, listen, brother. Let me tell you. Remember, man is what? What is man? Man is mind.
Mind
Okay.
never does forget.
How about that, bro? And mind is not matter. Mind is not material.
It's not local.
Mind is more permanent. Even mind is temporary. We know that because the souls and bodies of men are finite things. Right. But it's more permanent than this.
Yes, sir.
That being said, come on, we've all experienced this haphazardly or just randomly, where you hear a song that throws you back to a particular time to the point where you see and you even smell things that you smelled back then.
Yes.
We've been there, right? So if it occurred, then there's a methodology to access it.
And I'm gonna explain this to you. Something that I explained it to my brothers in Virginia.
Yes.
The twins, Carrie and Corey.
Yes, sir.
Every time I go to Virginia.
Oh yeah.
I passed a certain spot, and it's like I can't even tell you the spot, but it's like I know it's that same spot every time I pass it because the same thing happens.
It's old spirits,
brother. And this is gonna sound, but I'll let the listening audience get this. Every time I go there, first thing happens is it seems like I get sleepy. When I get to there, I start getting sleepy. And the first thing I hear is like, it sounds like it would be, have you ever heard a whole bunch of change in a person's pocket?
Yes.
Jingling.
Yes.
And then I hear that, and then I start to hear like drums. Ooh. And I start to hear laughter.
Ooh.
And when my vision comes, I always see this dark Asiatic, and he has two long braids. I'm talking about like the Pocahontas braids. Like,
wow.
And he's dancing and he's laughing. I'm talking about he's dancing and he's just laughing hysterically.
You know what I got to do, brother? I got to introduce you to Brother W. Creighton Bey. Brother W. Creighton Bey is the Grand Sheik on Moorish National Home #1 in Virginia, Prince George's County.
Oh man.
I got to introduce you.
Every time I go, bro, and I'm talking about the last time it hit me to the point where I could actually like I just felt your words across my palm.
Yes.
I could feel it. I could feel like his presence across my face. Like,
it's crazy. That's dope. See, yo, you know what I found? We just had a conference recently, he and I, and with the Assistant Grand Sheik of the Moorish American of America Incorporated, talking about further development of the colony. That colony is 160 something acres, bro. It's a city in the making. And the Moors own it. But anyway, there's so much energy on the colony. Do you know what runs through the colony, brother? It's an actual river that runs through it. And guess what, brother? It's a Blackwater River.
Whoa.
It's a Blackwater River. It's crazy. Crazy.
Man, there are no winky dinks. There's no coincidences.
That's a fact.
Hey man, this one right here has been one for the books right
Yes,
here,
sir.
bro. Man,
Yes, sir.
listen, everybody in the chat, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us.
Yes, sir.
Because we do, and I'm just glad that people enjoy our conversation because you know how we do.
For sure. For sure.
Tell me, and also, everybody, please don't forget to hit the like button.
Right.
I'm pretty sure everybody who's in the building is subscribed.
Right.
Share to make your people aware.
Absolutely.
Like and share. Don't be scared to share the podcast to your social medias. You know,
Right.
nobody's gonna ostracize you. You know what I'm saying? So please share to make your people aware.
Right.
And again, hit the like button. You have brother Sharif Anael-Bey's Cash App on the screen.
Yes.
And it's gonna be there doing playback. So everyone who is at under the sound of my voice, who can hear my voice right now, donate to the brother Sharif Anael-Bey. The Muslim Life merchandise Cash App is also in the chat, but we're gonna leave the brothers Cash App up, you know, so we can show the brothers some support, man, because he always comes through and gives us his best. You know what I'm saying? As the prophet told us, you know,
give
the best of ourselves and expect the best out of others. So
that's a fact. And also too, you know, if man and Allah are one,
what you do for man, you do for Allah.
You do for Allah. And also, I'm supposed to, if man, listen, if man and Allah are one and I'm striving to emulate who I actually am, then I'm supposed to strive for excellence. That means I don't get extra points for doing what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do. You see? Yeah. Listen, but I gotta run. I didn't realize, man, we be
building. Islam, beloved. I appreciate you. I love you too, man. I love you too. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Sir. Yes, sir. Peace to the family. What's going on? What's going on? You know what we're not gonna do? Is that, brother man? Yeah, we're not doing that. But anyway, Chad, what's going on? How y'all doing? But anyway, I mean, honest and gratitude to everybody who tuned in. Appreciate you. But anyway, we finna sign out. Again, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share to make your people aware. Appreciate everybody. Peace.